There is a moment when someone in your life, someone you love maybe, they suggest a different option, a safer option, and something in you tightens up and says, nope, I've got this under control. Not calmly, but in a defensive way. And that's the moment that we're going to talk about today. Welcome to the Truth About Alcohol podcast. I'm your host, Lee Davy, and this is a podcast for people who know that something about their drinking doesn't quite add up, and they want to understand why stopping can feel so much harder than it should. No labels, no judgments, just honest conversations about alcohol and change. So this I've got things under control moment often arrives disguised as some level of confidence. Somebody questions your plan, or they suggest a backup plan, or names a risk that you're already aware of but you haven't touched yet. And before you've given it some thought, before you've thought it through, this sentence appears in your head: I've got this under control. And on the surface, it may sound reasonable, you may seem capable, even reassuring, but if you slow it down, something else is happening underneath. Your body tightens, the heat rises, the irritation flashes, not because the suggestion is wrong, but because it threatens something you're leaning on to feel safe. And suddenly, this isn't a conversation anymore. It's a line of defense. Now, what is being protected here isn't the plan, it's your story. The story that says that this is working, that this is worth it, that this thing is going somewhere. And because if that story cracks, even slightly, a much more uncomfortable question will appear. And that is, what the hell have I been organizing my life around? Now, that question doesn't feel abstract. It feels very dangerous. And so your nervous system does what it's designed to do. It closes ranks, it hardens certainty, and it says to you and to everybody around you, I've got this. Now, just pause for a second, okay? And just notice if anything that I've said is causing a reaction in your body. Just for a moment. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to analyze it. Just notice it, okay? Now, for leaders especially, safety isn't just about money. It's about coherence. When you've built your life around a mission, around a business, around a path forward, that thing becomes much more than work. It becomes a structure that makes all of your past make sense to you. So when someone questions whether it's viable, your system doesn't hear curiosity, it hears collapse. And that's why control feels essential in this moment. You saying, I've got this under control, it's not arrogance, right? It is psychological first aid. But here's where it becomes dangerous. This lie, the lie, isn't believing in what you're building. The lie is using control to block adaptive truth. Because sometimes the most dangerous moment isn't when something fails, it's when we don't allow ourselves to check whether it was ever working to begin with. And that is where alcohol often enters. Not to celebrate, not to escape, but to stabilize a story long enough to avoid that question. Now, if this named something familiar in you and you don't want to act on it yet, there is a place to put moments like this down. That is the Strive Discord. It isn't a community, it's a stabilization space for moments that feel charged but unresolved. So if you want to explore this specific safety pattern more deeply, then email me at thestrivemethod@gmail.com. No rush, no fixing. It's just somewhere else safe to look at yourself honestly. Now, control often feels like safety until it stops letting the truth breathe. And this is the truth about alcohol. Much love, strive on. Until tomorrow, take care of yourselves out there, okay?